Today I fucked up by replying to an ex-Marine's review on Yelp. So I work at a pizza restaurant and me and my coworker like to dick around when it's slow, so we decided it would be a good idea to read the Yelp reviews for our store. We come across this review from a guy named Daniel and he is pissed at another one of our coworkers who he said was disrespectful. He then stated that had there not been a family with small kids in front of him in line, he would have shown her some real manners. So obviously this guy is a little unhinged. My coworker dared me to respond to him, and I'm always game for a dare, so I reply, "Sir, please calm down." We get a good laugh out of it and continue working. Fast forward a week, I get a notification from Daniel on Yelp, because apparently direct messaging is a thing on Yelp. The message reads, "Calm down? Who the fuck are you? You work there too? I'm coming in and asking for my name, and you can tell me if you have a fucking problem in person." Yeesh. I mean, I'm a 19-year-old girl, is he gonna beat me up? Anyway, I go in there tomorrow morning and I think the most embarrassing thing I'll ever have to do is tell my coworkers to pretend my name is something else because I have an ex-Marine on his way to beat me up. Too long did not read. I used my Yelp account that has my real name on it to reply to a very threatening review for the restaurant I work at, and now the guy is on his way to the store to settle things in person. Seems like he was involved in numerous raids on Al-Qaeda. I hope we'll get an update on this. Reply to him again, set a date and time. Tell him you'd like to settle this once and for all. Then ask for a police officer to attend at the same date and time. Bonus points if you can convince the PD to send an officer with the same name as you. Homie sounds like he ate one-to-many crayon boxes during his time LMAO. If he shows up, tell him next time you'll try and get the right colored crayons on his pizza. Have your camera ready, though he sounds like an online blowhard. Call the cops, he pretty much threatened you. Do y'all serve crayon pizza? Today I fucked up by accidentally popping a boner in front of a radiologist. This happened about 10 years ago, so bear with me if I can't recall some details. First off, I need to start out by saying I have very big balls. Like gigantic. Like 2 tennis balls put together to form a soft ball. Like the size of my closed fist. Sorry if this is too vulgar, but I swear it's relevant. I'm also not saying I'm brave or bold. I literally have giant fucking gonads. Well, stupid 22-year-old me had just read an article about the 10 diseases that cause death in men, and one of the entries was testicular cancer. I looked at the signs and symptoms, mainly swollen balls and heaviness. I freaked out, okay? I immediately became frantic at the possibility of having cancer that young. So I made an appointment with my doctor to see if I had something going on in my junk. Well, after waiting for a few weeks in a constant state of panic, the day comes to visit the doctor and he instructs me to drop True and Undies so he can visually inspect and feel my nads for anything unusual. He actually squeezes a little too hard on the upper part of my scrotum, which hurts a fair bit. He says he does feel a little something in there, so he sends me to his on-site radiologist to see if there is anything weird in my sack besides baby gravy. Not gonna lie, I was pretty nervous because I knew the radiologist had to be a woman based on the name, and I was under a lot of stress and didn't want to pop a stress boner while she examined my downstairs. A nurse instructs me to, once again, remove my pants and underwear and to lay down on this thing and wait for the radiologist to do her thing. A few minutes later, this 11/10, gorgeous, busty, hourglass-bodied, pretty-faced, blonde-haired, blue-eyed bombshell walks in and introduces herself as the radiologist. I tried to be polite, but my inner voice was like, shit. Well, she starts to use her equipment to examine my family jewels, which requires her to move them and my dick around by hand. The entire time, I'm trying so hard to think of awful things like dead kittens to distract myself from this unreasonably attractive medical professional handling my privates in what would become an ultimately futile attempt at preventing myself from getting an erection. But, while she's examining me down there, she's making small talk with me and she has that voice. You know, the voice that sounds like a mix between Kat Dennings, Taylor Momsen, and a casual nicotine addiction. Basically the right amount of nerdy vixen and raspiness. So yeah, despite all my efforts, it happens. I grow probably the stiffest one I had ever had at that point. I'm fully erect right in the face of a super nice lady who is just trying to do her job. The thing is, she's such a professional that she doesn't even call attention to it at all at first. She just keeps examining away like it's no big deal, which calms me down for a bit. Then, after about 10–15 minutes of my accidental magical growing salami in her direct line of sight, She puts her equipment down and takes off her gloves while saying, "All done. Looks good. I didn't see anything, but I'll review my findings again and you should have your results soon. You can put your pants back on now." I meekly say, "Thank you and sorry about the accidental thing that happened, yeah." She just laughs and says while smirking at me, "Ha ha ha ha, don't worry about it, it happens all the time." I laugh back and reiterate that it was just an accident. She winks at me and says, "I always take it as a compliment." Honestly, this exchange made me feel even more embarrassed, but at least I found out I didn't have cancer. TLDR, I accidentally show my sturdy cucumber to a radiologist and her attempts at making me feel less embarrassed backfire. "What you doing, step radiologist? It would be weird if you didn't. I'm studying radiologist myself and can assure you that we don't really care about, how do you call that, family jewels XD and other stuff. In my age, only 23, I have seen so many jewels I don't really care at all." "They didn't make you cover up the thunderstick with a towel?" "That's what I've always had to do. So they can manipulate the berries without touching the twig. It's so cold in there that I'm holding the ends of the towel like a strap in hopes my limp biscuit doesn't fall out." I swear, attractive people always works as penis inspectors. It has to be on purpose, they're fucking with us, right? Wait until you are 68 years old. Then if that happens, you'll be proud as you are saying, "Hey, look at this." Believe me, we have seen it all. Love from radiology. Had this happened for a back injury from weightlifting when I was 16. I was being prepared for X-rays and the radiologist was actually uncomfortable with it and left the area to stall hoping I was calmed down. We even switched rooms for it to go down lol. That was 23 years ago and I still remember that how embarrassed I was.